Yes. Okay. We are live. Hello. Welcome to Sales Alchemy. Um, okay, Meg, I'm actually gonna have you kick us off today since you invited our special guest who's a brand new friend for me, brand new connection. So I'm gonna put you on the spot. What was the inspo? Like what made Melissa feel so right for this combo?
One of my big goals this year was to basically use all of the all of the insane amount of posting that I've been doing to make some money from it. So I joined an amazing program from Alyssa Gaglione, who I have been a massive fan of for like 5 years. And so we're in this program, and we like connect with people. And I clicked on Melissa's profile, and I saw like burnout, and I saw nervous system regulation, and I saw even just like the branding was like just all like green and calming. And I don't think I told Melissa this, but I literally was like, this girl's about to be my best friend. And I literally messaged her, and I was like, hi, we like doing so many similar things. Like, we should be friends. And now we are. And it's been really cool. And I think that, on LinkedIn, it's kind of one of those things, just like with Leslie, where I was like, this is really weird. We're just like, best friends on the internet. And yeah, has not disappointed, and it's been really cool. I've joined a few sessions of hers, and I think like Melissa's just doing so many things differently. But a lot of the things that we're very into, in terms of not just the performance side of sales, but truly like the regulation and the deep connection that
Yeah.
has to results and revenue.
And you
How did
both
I do,
have black
Melissa?
cats. Am I seeing a cat behind you?
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
Coco, my CPO. She's the chief pet officer, and she's responsible for company culture and strictly enforcing anti-hustle culture at MTN Collective. So
I mean, it seems like she's doing a great job.
yeah, that's so true. She's like, "Yep, no hustling today. We're sleeping. We're not."
Oh my gosh. That is so fun. Okay, well, like maybe we can start out then. Maybe we can each share something that we are currently like doing or loving or wanting to test to regulate our nervous systems. Like what is something right now that Melissa, do you wanna start us off
Yeah,
on that
yeah,
one?
yeah. So right now I am just working towards like bringing more of this work to sales reps who need it. And so right now, specifically working on manifesting, calling in like more top performing reps who are already, they're doing really well, but on the outside, success on paper, President's Club, hitting quota, but internally, secretly stressy and depressy. But because their nervous system is fried and they've been operating in that state for a very long time. And I've been there myself, like really bad burnout to the point of like depression. And so I know where that place comes from. And so I really want to be able to like bring this work to those reps specifically in need so that they know that it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to sacrifice your mental health and well-being to have quote unquote success or whatever that looks like for you. Like there is another way, and that way is a way that feels so good and so nourishing for your nervous system. And so I'm trying to reach as many people as I can so that they can experience this work for themselves.
I love that. Yeah.
But wait, tell her. So Melissa has honestly been an inspiration to me in terms of like, I think when we think of manifestation, a lot of times
just said manifesting. Look at that.
But a lot of times, like when I think of manifesting, like I feel like there's kind of like specific manifestors and not. And so like even I manifest a lot of like kind of like big goals. But Melissa's been inspiring me. Melissa, tell her about like last night. Like
last night. Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like I'm a big believer in manifestation. I believe that you manifest through who you are being, and so you manifest through your energy, right? And so one way where you can really like learn how to leverage that is just by learning how to be present and just staying in high energy frequencies, like you know what I mean, like language. And so last night I was in the shower. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh wow, like I have not booked any discos this week because I do my own outbound. I'm like, I
Yeah.
have not booked any discos. And then I was thinking to myself, you know what would be really cool if I were to get like an inbound lead or a few inbound lead with absolute dream clients like by the end of this week. And so that was that. But usually when I'm in the shower, I daydream a lot. And so I'm like visualizing like, ooh, like waking up, like, you know, coming in here and there. And I get out the shower and I pick up my phone to see what time it is. Then I get a notification like 2 to 3 minutes ago that someone booked a discovery call with me.
I love that. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so I'm hearing a lot of like manifesting, yes, but like manifesting from a place of abundance is part of like the nervous system regulation you're bringing in. What about you, Meg?
Okay, Leslie, I think you're gonna love this. So one of the things about calling yourself a witch on LinkedIn is that I get a lot of DMs about like magic, and like one thing I'm like, I should be working, and then I'm just like, what magic are you into? And so I've always done one of my really good friends in New York is she does a ton of like cord cutting rituals, and so I've always done kind of like that candle magic. And I also just like love candles, but some in my DMs was very specifically like, I'm really into candle magic. She sent me a book to get. So while I was in the US, I got a book on candle magic and I got a book on the magical household. So I'm like such a mental person, even in like palm reading, like my fingers are really long, which is like the mental realm. I mean, I'm literally a thought leader. My job is very mental. And so I'm really working on like bringing that into the physical world. So, even just this is the content we need. Yeah, truly. And honestly, like it's so fun though with like my DMs now. I think I need like a condo category of just like magic to follow up on. Yeah. So especially with candle magic, one of the rituals that this woman told me, she writes it's like a negativity candle. So she writes all of the things that like are draining her or causing issues, etc. And then she literally just like anytime she has like thoughts, etc., she starts burning it, she sends it into the candle to just be released.
So good, so good, so good. I feel like I've heard of something like that before.
Yeah,
I'm also gonna
I
say
love that.
you're very witchy, but I identify as like witchy as well. But I love how like you're witchy in a different way, which I love.
Yeah. It's also really funny because like witchy can mean so many things to different people. And I think, you know, outside of literally like what, you know, like worshiping the devil and like being burned at a stake.
Yeah.
Usually not that. So I know Leslie is like very into that devil worship. More of like, you know, even like the super, okay, actually really funny story. When every year we have a like sales witches retreat, and Leslie told us that she was like, oh, I'm really into runes. I had no idea what that was. And so I'm literally like, Leslie,
No, you made it up. I said I'm a practicing druid, and you were like, because you are who you are, and you're such a thoughtful person, you're like, let me learn more about druidry and like what does that mean? And so Meg comes up with this idea that I'm in like an expert on runes, which to be fair, I was talking about building an Occam tree dictionary. So I was talking about using a collection of different trees to tell fortunes. So to be fair, though, some related magical thought. But sorry, finish your story. So
I literally thought that. I was just like, I think I like Googled like druids, and it was like runes, and so I literally like come to our session. I was like, I got you a little stone. It's a rune. It's what you like, right? And she was like,
so cute.
No, Meg, I collect sticks that are very special sticks. And I was
Literally,
like,
like my.
oh my God, I'm so sorry. I thought it was I thought it was rocks, not sticks. That's a good stick.
This is
What
from
is that?
when we did the boat tour.
Oh my God, yeah.
So
Wait,
yes,
do you what kind of wood it is?
nope, don't know, no idea, don't remember.
Yeah.
Special
So moral of the
stick.
story, I thought she was into rocks, and
And
she's
instead I'm
actually
into a jar of special sticks.
I mean, the crystals.
Freaking funny.
Crystals are rocks, and so there's that.
But I'm
Yes.
also,
Oh,
yes,
it
I mean,
should
as
be-
always, like I'm also into, I have
This
I
should
have
be
my-
Leslie. I think this has to be like one of our like
Geode right there. We should do like
our
the crystal collection wall.
yeah. So like Melissa, like this, I think this has to be like an opener. Like what rocks do you have? What crystals do you have on your desk, if any? Wow. Ooh, that's nice.
I honestly don't know
Is that-
what this is. Wait,
a
selenite?
quartz tower.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
No, I thought it says selenite.
Do pieces
Tower.
of it peel off? Like do
Just look at
strands of
the-
it kind of peel off?
I don't think so.
I just got a
I
selenite.
have a geode right here. I just
I just
usually
got a
have
selenite.
crystals.
Yeah, like
Live.
this one is quartz and this one is
Yeah.
selenite. But the
Yeah, because it looks like
selenite
a
yeah, like
Not us with the crystal gold.
ooh, that's a really pretty one. What's that little
What's the-
tower?
This one?
Yeah.
I don't know. One way where I collect crystals is whenever I'm traveling. If I see a crystal store, I'll just go in, and whatever looks pretty or whatever I feel drawn to, I'm like, ooh, I want that,
Same.
and it
Yeah.
matches my brand, and so I'm like, okay.
I often
Oh
walk
my
away with new
God.
rocks and people are like, "What kind is it?" And I was like, "The kind that felt nice in my hand."
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how you.
I have this.
right?
That's how I got this beautiful piece of citrine. Actually, I was
Yeah.
getting. I was at a tarot card reading, and I just like picked this up and put it in my hand. I just felt so drawn to it, and the woman doing the reading was like, "You need to take that," and then gave it to me as a gift. She was like, I don't know why, but like I so clearly know that like you're supposed to have that."
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Oh, look at we got
Ooh.
some. John's telling us what's on his desk. I think I have
Yeah.
at least a little bit. I got a tiger's eye. Definitely have a huge piece of pyrite. Got to bring in that. I definitely have citrine. Well, yeah, a little. I have so many
I
rocks
don't
on my
know
desk.
what any of these mean. I just like how it looks, but I do know
There's kind of a little
selenite.
labradorite.
Ooh, that one's pretty.
Yeah, these are
So yes, so Megan
Critical.
made this like beautiful ritual for us at our sales witches sales kickoff retreat, and I have it somewhere. I have it on my.
Oh yeah,
shelf.
I have mine out.
But we had each picked like our word for the year, and Meg took the time to like listen and remember what our words were, and then build us a custom ritual based on our word. Yes.
It was
Like,
a lot.
what? And there was like scent magic, there was candle magic, there was crystal magic. It was so freaking special. And then at the very end, like the big thing she gave me was a rune and then asked me to explain it to the group. And I was like,
She's like,
cool.
Sorry, I didn't bring the sticks.
I
Yeah.
can't. Okay, wait, but when you were just sharing that, I was also going to ask, do either of you follow that Glasgow witch on TikTok?
No,
I can't believe I haven't already recommended this to you, Meg, because you should 100% follow her.
Yeah.
She's Scottish, based in Glasgow. And her magic, I'm so drawn to it. It's very like nature-based, like earth-based magic.
Yeah.
But what made me think of it is that she'll often do like, writing something on a piece of paper and then burning it, or like that type of magic that you were describing. But follow her on TikTok. She's amazing. And she
Yeah.
has that Scottish accent, so it's also just like so soothing to listen to her speak.
And yeah, and honestly, one of the things about like even like studying more physical magic, because for me, you know, I've been reading tarot for 10 years and I love tarot because it's literally just archetypes, you know, it's just like kind of the common human experience and common moments, and it's almost like therapy for me. And I mean, I've also done a lot of like plant magic, and that is just like connection with like soul, source, etc. And when you know, studying physical magic, sometimes it can seem really silly where you're just like, you know, just put like cinnamon sticks around everywhere. But when I was actually studying it, and honestly, a lot of like I love like the Instagram witches and TikTok witches,
Etsy witches.
yeah, but even like yeah, oh my god,
We love an Etsy witch.
yeah, but even like when it kind of like studying the books, it's cool because they're like, I mean, also science is catching up to spirituality now. So even just realizing like literally one of the lines from this book that like just resonated with me so deeply, they're like, it's not actually, it's about the it's not like we literally just think that like salt is going to like kill spirits or anything like that. You know, throwing salt over your shoulder. It's literally like bringing its connection with mind and body and mind in the physical world, where it's literally bringing intention and manifestation through ritual into the physical.
Yep.
And that just resonated so deeply. And I think also it's so beautiful. Like I want to know Melissa's star signs as well, like astrological signs. I have like a grand earth trine. I'm just like all earth energy. I have like 9 Capricorn placements, like sins help. So for me, even I think it's been really cool in terms of like, you know, we all work in such mental realms, you know, we're on the computer all day, etc. And so really like grounding my energy. I mean, even last night I was feeling really anxious, and you know, even just doing rituals, like even thinking about regulation as ritual, you know, like getting back into our physical world. I think it's taken me years to truly get back into my body. And I have a lot of trauma, you know, not to trauma that, but I have a lot of like physical trauma in my background. And so like coming back into my body, I just realized how much of my life was like so mental and really dysregulated. So a lot of my regulation journey, I mean, I worked with a regulation coach. I don't know if I told you this, Melissa. I worked with a regulation coach that I met at a sober dance retreat. And I literally just saw this woman like dancing. And she was just so magical. And she was like camped next to me. And I was like, oh, this woman was just like pure embodiment. And I was like, I gotta like meet this person. And she was like she did a regulation kind of like assessment. She's like, oh, do you struggle with this or this or this or this? And I was like, yeah, but like everyone does. And she just goes quiet. And I was like, but everyone does, right? I was like, you know, and she was like, we'll get to that later. And like, I didn't realize how dysregulated I was. Like, I literally was having like, and it was very weird things. It was like, do you struggle with regulating your body temperature? And I was like, yeah, I have like freezing feet, and I would have, whenever I would get hot, it was really hard to like cool down. And you know, all these like weird little symptoms that I didn't know how anxious I was, etc. Because like it was so normalized for me.
Yeah.
So like that was a big one. Yeah.
Can I add to that? So a couple of things is like what you said is, well, number one, I think that's a pattern I've noticed with a lot of like top performers as well. It's like they're very much here and dissociative. And that typically comes from like, you know, trauma, and you know, there's too much for your body to handle, so you just like, you know, you leave your body. It's safer that way because you wouldn't have to feel the visceral sensations here. But something that you said regarding manifestation, like the mental and physical realm, like I've always been into spirituality, but I'm a big believer in the work of like Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'm not sure if you know his work. And so a lot of his practices, like I lean into that. And I also had when I was going through my healing journey and recovering from my diagnosis, I worked with a somatic practitioner. His name is Philip Bittar. So he's like one of the industry leaders, like on Instagram. His work is primarily somatic, and he led us through what he would call like his somatic heart breath, where we direct our focus and attention to the spaciousness inside of our body. And a lot of my work now that I do with my clients, like, you know, is inspired by him, but directing our focus and attention to our heart center and coming back to that place of wholeness. And I found that just from doing that, number one, not only is that like an embodiment practice, you're like used to feeling, you know, that spaciousness inside of your body, but you can manifest more of one thing that he really said is like, we're always, in a way, when it comes to manifestation, we're always manifesting. We're manifesting at every single moment. And so it's like what's happening externally is just your internal world mirrored back at you. And so when you're wanting to manifest what's aligned with who you are, all you got to do is just continue to just witness like the stuff that comes up when you direct your focus internally, and obviously like make space for it without needing to heal it or whatnot, because who you really are is on the other side of your patterns. And when you learn to meet yourself in that way, then you are manifesting like the things that are meant for you. A lot of times, like when we are trying to manifest, like we want the nice car or we want like the beautiful house or whatever, and we think that that's not what we want, but in a way we're kind of manifesting from a wounded place. And so like even though we might get it, that's where we feel empty. But the embodiment piece like really changed like everything for me beyond nervous system. But it's more of this like, oh, so this is who I am. Like I'm not the perfectionism, I'm not the performer me, or it's like who I am is like on the other side of that. And I wouldn't have been able to meet me, like my soul self, if I didn't give myself the courage to like go inwards and myself, which is in my body. So I could,
yeah, no, that's so beautiful.
I want to add on what you said, Megan, because it's like,
so beautiful.
I
have a question for Leslie too. In a minute.
Rob's question in a second, because I do think that is an interesting question. But on the manifesting tip, Meg, something that you and I have talked about in the past is like a frustration with people who are like, I'm just gonna like manifest that. But not understanding that part of the work of manifesting is also making space, making space to invite that new thing. And that just really came up for me, Melissa, when you were just sharing that reflection, that like, it's not just, oh, I'm going to manifest a BMW. That is not how it works. It's like, I am going to do the work so I can make space to truly embrace an abundance mindset and deserve and believe that I deserve abundance and believe that like wealth, like, right. Like there's so much, I think, personal work that happens that lays the foundation for manifestation to work. And like make something you said is the, you know, like the magic and the science are sort of catching up. And I think that that's a lot of it, is that we're realizing that like, oh, I'm not manifesting a, you know, whatever, like I'm not manifesting a car. I'm not manifesting just some like material possession. What I'm really doing is this super, super tough examination of myself and my beliefs to change the, you know, the energy, the thoughts that I'm putting into the world.
And Leslie, you have been absolutely such a, like inspiration to me. And like one of the things that I tell my friends is I was like, I literally just have these women in my life that like push me and inspire me. Also, it's funny because we make fun of Leslie for being the compassionate bully. Like she literally is the one that will be like, oh my gosh, hi. So have you done that thing? Yeah, just asking. Just have you done that really big thing? And even, you know, I'm starting a more spiritual business, and like I remember telling Leslie something one time that I was like, I just have this crazy dream. And over the years, Leslie has absolutely just like bullied. Hey, what about that thing though? Because I would like kind of get
Have
like
you done that?
sidetracked. And I would literally be like, I think I should maybe do this kind of like out of fear or out of like, I think that's too crazy. And she's like, what about that thing? What about the other thing that you said 5 years ago? And so I think that's been so beautiful, but also like Leslie, you literally have like written a fucking award-winning book and literally like is like writing your next book in Ireland, like doing all of these amazing things. I'm just curious, like from personally, sometimes I look at you and I'm like, she just like, I think it probably just comes to her really easily. And I probably am missing some of like the challenges you've had. So I was just so curious how you manifest, and also like what did it look like for you to like level up and create space for the new versions, new layers, and like please tell me that it was a little harder than I imagined.
It was super hard. And it continues to be hard is what I will like share transparently. First of all, you've all been warned now. Be very careful about speaking your wildest dreams into existence around me, because I will not let it go. I will be there asking you what you are doing to become that very best, your very favorite version of
That's why
yourself.
we love you.
You know, Meg, so like I may have shared this with you. I'm grabbing my journal, my Hobonichi Teko, one of my favorite things in the entire world. Because I literally, like a couple of weeks ago, Melissa, you don't know this about me, but I work a 4-day work week doing like revenue generating work. And on Mondays, I do self-work. So it's a lot of like deep journaling, staring off into the middle distance, just to like let my mind explore.
I love that. That's yeah.
And one of the journaling exercises I did a few weeks ago, because I was just like, I was really having a hard time. And I was just like, am I not doing enough? Am I not good enough? Like, why? And Meg, you and I have talked about this before, that it's like, why is this not easier yet? Like, I've worked so fucking hard. Like I'm doing all of the right things, and I'm working so hard, and I'm putting so much, like, why does it not feel easier yet? And so what I did in my journaling reflection is I went and got some objective data. So roughly 0.02% of all authors make the USA Today list. Only 60% of small businesses survive more than 3 years. And I just passed my 4-year mark. Only 1% of LinkedIn users have 50,000 followers. Only 0.5% of TikTok users have 50,000 followers. Only 6% of elder millennials own a second home. And so it's like the list is pretty long. When I was like going through all of these things to like level set with objective information, because I was like, girlfriend, it could be easy if you let it be easy, but I am constantly leveling up. Like, I am constantly pushing myself to I don't know, continue to like to strive, to seek. And I think there are some negatives that come with that I do sometimes struggle to let go of a position of striving. But there is also something so inherent to my being of being like, ooh, that's interesting. What would that feel like? What would that look like? Ooh. So it is one of those things that I think is there's both a part of me that it serves and a part of me that it doesn't serve, that I continue to work through. But the outcome of this journaling exercise was like, yeah, it is still hard. Yeah, I do often feel like it should be easier, but at the same time, like I'm really operating in like the very upper echelon of like what is possible for a human. Like, I am speaking my wildest dreams into existence, and then I am like just making them happen. Yeah. Like I'm just doing them, and like that is insane. It's insane. But I share all of that very transparently to say that, like, even when I'm operating at this level, I still struggle with imposter syndrome. Like I still ask myself questions like, am I doing enough, or am I doing it right? And so I hope that answers your question, but like, no, it is not easy, but also like,
Yeah.
I'm like doing some really cool shit.
Yeah. And something that came up as you were talking was, another thing that we've definitely talked about is, it's so interesting when like looking at people online that talk about healing and talk about magic and talk about manifestation, which like, I feel like we all have like a few little gripes, like one of our big ones is like wanting to just manifest like when it's kind of like proving to other people, like I don't want to like manifest a BMW because it's coming from a wounded place, like Melissa said. And I just want to feel like, finally everyone will like love me and like love yourself. But it is interesting because like one thing I've struggled with is like I went from absolutely connecting my self-worth with my success. And so even one of the big things that I've been doing that's been really hard is realizing that I actually don't care about some things that other people care about, like, and it's more so like my dreams don't look like Leslie's. And I think that's been hard because I was just curious, like, I think that you said something that resonated so deeply. You're like, I'm making my wildest dreams come true. And I think that's kind of that difference where it's like, it's so different to you. And like, I know Leslie, some of your wildest dreams were literally like, like not having to like working a 4-day work week and literally taking time off. Like, can you tell me a little bit more about that for both of you, honestly, when it comes to like, what are your wildest dreams? And, especially the ones that don't really fit within that capitalistic, like, I am successful. Lisa, do you want to start?
Yeah, I can go. My wildest dreams, I feel like I'm living it right now. I think I've just always known that I wanted to just do my own thing. I really, really value freedom and I really, really value autonomy. And I like, being able to do what I want, whenever I want, like with whoever I want. Like if I want to take a Monday off without having to ask someone, then I should be able to do that. And so I think like I'm kind of living that with that time freedom right now. But going back to what you said, like it was really, really hard to make it work. Going back to like success, like, what you said, what does that success look like? And a huge part of that was like tying that to like financial success. And so even though like I'm not technically financially at the level of the destination of success, like I, in a way, already feel like I'm already there, which is so good because I wake up feeling grateful that I get to work with clients, that I have community, that I get to do this. Like, I love that. And there's also still some more that like I'm working towards, but sorry, my ADHD just got ahead of me. What was the question? I lost my
No, I love that. That was
it's so beautiful though.
That was a great answer. Wait,
Okay.
Meg, I want to come back to you on this though, because I know something that we have talked really candidly about in the past is money. And I think it is sort of uniquely difficult for those of us that came up in revenue to like not sort of measure ourselves by revenue goals or to set ambitious goals. And something that I have done so like I'm 4 years in, I still have not replaced my income from corporate. Right. And that is like, you ask the question, like, what are your wildest dreams that are maybe not the definition of like what people would think? And that was something they were like, oh yeah, by like year 1, you'll replace your income as a freelancer. And I was like, cool. Like, what I actually want to do more than that is like not cry so much. And like, right, like explore my relationship with alcohol, like explore letting go of like the guilt and shame of just being able to work right. I was like, the things that are actually important to me right now are this whole list of things, and then like having enough financial stability that I like have the mental space to be able to do those things. But I was like, money isn't the most important. Still 4 years later, I get so distracted every year when I set my revenue goal and I have to be like, dial it back, Vanette. dial it back. Like if you set too ambitious of a goal, you're going to over index on this goal because you are so goal oriented, and you're going to forget that like that's not the thing that serves you.
You're going to make it happen.
Yeah. Like I'm going to make it happen. So I'm like, okay, you know, you're going to make it happen. So like make sure that you set something that aligns with all of the other goals that you have in life, and that isn't making like $1 million.
Yeah.
Can I share something on top of that that's coming up? I think also one thing like I'm learning I've learned throughout my journey as well is like the money mindset side of things, as in like tying your worth to, you know, how much money you make, but also not believing that you deserve to make this amount. Or the biggest thing that I've had to unlearn, and I didn't realize this until it showed up in corporate. I thought it was just like in my business, but it showed up in my sales role as well, as in like this belief that I don't deserve, I'm only worthy of financial success and abundance if I've like bled, like if I bled and struggled for it. Like if it came easy, I
We're
just
like,
listen, every time like as an SDR, if I had an inbound lead come in, like I would feel so much guilt about the inbound lead because I didn't actively get it through cold outreach, and cold outreach is grind, blah 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 blah. And even now just talking about it, like I'm getting goosebumps because like that was something that I've had to like unlearn in so many ways. Even now I notice it still shows up by like Megan, we're working together, and so like where it still shows up, I've noticed, is like when I overcomplicate things. Like me overcomplicating things is me making it harder for myself to succeed because and so I'm always having to catch. I'm like, wait, it can be simple, it can be easy, and like I don't need to like deserve it through effort. Like I deserve it either way. That's been something that's been really hard for me to like sit with, and I'm still working through that right now.
Leslie and I are just like struggling over here with literally everything you said. I was like, I feel like we've been personally attacked. Like all of us, literally like all of the top performers, like the, you know, Taylor Swift, like eldest daughters were like, oh God, that's me.
I mean, to the extent that literally ease is your word for this year. And like, how many times have we uttered phrases like, hey, like it doesn't have to be hard to be worth it. Like it's allowed to, like, how many times have we come back to this idea over and over again, Meg, just in the, you know, many conversations we've had over the last, you know, half decade.
Yeah. And one of the things I'm working through this year, so I actually wanted to share something earlier that was like a huge thing for me. So I always joke on LinkedIn that I like started my business out of spite. Because I was just sometimes, you know, it's funny, like entrepreneurs have to be a little crazy. And I'm like, I 1000% fit that category. And so I like didn't get a promotion, but I had literally implemented Medic, which is just like a sales framework. And we doubled the best in case forecast. Doubled it in one quarter. And then I got told like, oh, we don't just give away promotions. And I was like, and then my boss was like, are you okay? And I was like, totally. I'm totally okay. Because I think in that moment, and then I just like went home and I just turned the light off and got into bed, and like literally early. I think I went home like 4 p.m. I've been working until like 11 p.m., 1 a.m. for literally 6 months, working 5 jobs. And I feel like that, like turning the light switch off, I remember that memory so vividly because I think like my brain just turned, I like burned out. It was like a physical moment that I was like, I cannot do this anymore. And so I started my business out of spite. And so naturally I was like, I would like to make 2 times the promotion that I would have gotten. And I mean, it was like a crazy revenue number, but literally after the first quarter, I was on track. Like I almost made $100,000 the first quarter. And like, you know, to some point that's also like not normal, et cetera. But like, I like worked my ass off, and it almost killed me. I literally was like, this is awful. And so then I switched to the goal to just be like, what if I could make the same amount of money that I wanted to make in corporate, but work half as much?
Yeah. Yep.
And that has truly been my guiding light. Like, I have my number and I don't need to make more than that. But for me, it also created, we talked about space earlier. Like, I basically got to that number as easily as I could. And then, I mean, I literally had like one time I literally had like I had a contract that was like half of my entire annual number. And I kind of just messed around and traveled the world for a year. Like,
Wow.
and it was amazing. But also we talk about space. Like, I had some deep wounds to heal. And so for me, like, taking a few years off of my business, which is like, not just like hitting the accelerator, just like cruise control, like that created so much space for me to heal. And I needed like, it's wild because on the other side of that healing came what I'm working on now, which is exactly what you're talking about, Melissa, which is like, I was I struggle, like my family struggled, we had a really hard time when growing up. And so for me, like ease is really hard because I literally think like if I don't keep trying, if I don't keep running, if I don't keep working, like something's going to catch up to me, or like the instability, everything. And so for me, ease this year feels really interesting because it's kind of like finally allowing myself just to flow and to make things easy, but also to create space for the next version, which like for me, I think like all that healing led to just realizing that like I feel like the girl that I was as a little girl before like a lot of my childhood trauma would not have had the career that I had. And so literally thinking like, what career would this little girl have? And I was literally like, I mean, other little girls are like playing like house and everything. I was like, my sister texted me. She was like, do you remember when we used to make like potions out of mud? And I was like, absolutely. She's like, we used to like chase fairies. I would like, duck around trees. Like, oh, there's a fairy, And so even like I'm launching a more spiritual business this year, and it feels the one that Leslie is compassionately bullying me into for literally 5 years. But that feels so hard because it's also like, I don't feel like I deserve it because I grew up in an environment where my family didn't choose their careers. They didn't do anything like passionate or interesting that they loved. They literally just like do what they can to survive. And so one of the, not even deserving, but I feel guilty that I have like, I'm like, this isn't allowed. Like, it feels, I don't feel like, and I don't know if this comes up for either of you, but even with like kind of like generational trauma. Yeah. Of like, I feel guilty. And like, I talked to my mom about this. She's like, this is literally why we raised you. And like why this is our dream for you. But like, I feel guilty when it comes to like, it feels frivolous and it feels like too aligned. It feels, just like something that I like, life can't be that magical,
Yeah.
Does that come up for either of y'all?
I think it is. Me and Megan had been talking a lot about unplugging. We unplug old programming and beliefs. It's just in our brain.
Unplugging the little thing, corporate downloads. Yeah.
And so I think your mind already knows it. It's just getting your body to catch up to that truth.
Yeah. And I think that's why like the mind body connection and even like the physical magic is so powerful. Like I've been working very deeply with a somatic therapist for somatic and parts therapy, which I love because this base is like the visualization element as well. But yeah, I mean, I feel like last year I literally invited my like soul back in my body. It was like just floating over it. Like when I was like laying down, I was like, oh, my soul is like absolutely dissociated. And so inviting my soul back into my body, like now I ask my body questions. I'm like, ooh, how do we feel about that? And it's just like raging stress in my shoulders. Like, okay, fine. Like we're good, So even when we're kind of like making decisions about business or making decisions about like, I was like, are you sure this is the weird thing that I'm about to do is right? And it's just like total calm. And I'm like, are you in excitement? It's like, no, this is it. Like we've known this for so long, Leslie, how do you think about that?
When you just said that you invited your soul back into your body, the thing that came up for me, I'm going to grab my deck while I'm talking, but I I draw oracle cards, not tarot. I mean, sometimes I draw tarot. I shouldn't say I don't draw tarot, but I predominantly draw oracle cards. And one of my very favorite decks is this Druid Plant Oracle deck, and this is the title page. But I was drawing like every single week when I first left corporate. Like I was really like heavily looking to the cards for wisdom, inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a huge, thick deck of cards, right? Like there's a lot of cards in this deck. And I drew that same card, which is the Banes, over and over and over again. And it did not matter like how many times I shuffled it or what hand I used to draw the card, or like it did not matter. I kept
Won't
drawing
let you
forget over
Yeah.
and over and over again. And there is this the Bane, so it's probably under T, I think. There is this thing that they say QR. Oh my God, Leslie, do you not know how the alphabet works? I'll try to find it, but the gist of it is that it was an ask to let my body and my soul have time to reconnect. And like in that first year of my business, that card came up again and again and again, with the universe just being like, you gotta give your body, like, come on, you can do it.
Yeah.
But now you have Mondays for that.
And now it was one of the reasons that I actually decided to like really hold Mondays, is because it's called the Restorer. This is the name of the card. That's one of the reasons that I decided to really hold Mondays, is because I had started doing that work in the like 3 months I took off between leaving corporate and going full time. And it just immediately became so important and so valuable to me to have, because I tried like a daily journaling practice and I did not like it. I did not like it. And it's what all the people on the internet were saying to do. And I was like, this isn't for me. Like doing 5 minutes of thinking, like it does not serve me. It doesn't do the thing that it's supposed to do. Spending the time going deep really did. And that was one of the reasons that I was able to like be open to testing a 4-day work week and then like hold that time. So wait, I found the thing. Although adventure and excitement are necessary ingredients in life, we also need periods of peace and calm, oases in our busy lives. Drawing this card may mean that you need to create time for yourself. And then it talks about like retreats and druids visiting old sites.
Oh my gosh, I love it that you pulled that over and over again. And it was just like, hey, you're not done. Hey, do you remember? Hey, have you taken a break yet? Hey,
like, come back to this. And then the very last line says, by taking such a break, you give your body and soul a chance to catch up with one another and to find balance once more. Isn't that so beautiful? I love my oracle cards. So okay, ladies, we are almost done and we still have 2 very important things that we need to talk about. Thing 1, can we guess it? It's the moon. Thing 2 is that we have to do our celebrations before we wrap up today. Yes. Here's the specific moon related thing that I would like to talk about. Did you guys watch any of the stuff on Artemis?
Okay, I've just been looking at a few photos. I haven't done that as much.
Okay, so first of all, I invite anybody that is listening to this, like go watch some of the videos that they took, because there's one that like slowly pans over the moon. Like it
looks like interstellar,
it's incredible. It's emotional. It's so incredible. But the thing that I loved the most, and you should look this up when we get off the call, is that one of the astronauts is describing the moon back to NASA, and he's just like, you can hear the emotion in his voice, and he's like, and the moon, and like, and it's so beautiful how he describes it. And the woman back at NASA says, copy, moon joy. And that is her like succinct summary of like all these like emotive expressive words for so I just wanted to share that story.
I'm going to incorporate that into my normal vocabulary. Moon joy.
Moon joy. I literally did like a whole journaling exercise about copy moon joy.
Moon joy.
When I think of moon joy, like I think of or when you're reading that and what his experience is like, that feeling of awe, and also just like, wow, like you're in a whole new planet, you're in a whole new world, and it's like magical. I love that feeling. I get that a lot when I'm traveling and I'm going to new places.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm feeling that, I'll just be like, enjoy.
Moon joy.
Yeah. And one thing as well, like that hit me with Moonjoy is like, I think that it can feel, the world can kind of feel so bright and sunny. And like, honestly, like how many of you have a sunburn and you're already sunburnt, but you can't cover up and you're just like, I'm roasting. Like, and it's just, the sun is just like pure on you. That's kind of how it feels to like be in the world today with, you know, everything happening. And just to kind of take a step back or literally get off the planet and like, just like look back at the beauty and, you know, all of the things that are still happening. And like, I think that's also for the moon for me feels so like deeply feminine and so deeply intuitive and like, you know, and a part of even the card, you know, is like, you know, we need respite from all of these things. And so for me, like Moonjoy is like just those moments when you just like kind of like fill up your own cup. And like the times you like take the night, you take the you know, you take the darkness, you take the peace and the quiet when everyone else is sleeping, and just to like restore yourself, you know. And so much beauty.
Yes, I love
Yeah.
that. Like that feeling of awe, that feeling of pouring into yourself. And I hear you, Meg, that the world can feel maybe busy, overwhelming, a little bit too bright, but not bright in a fun way, bright in a sunburny way. And so I think that's why it spoke to me so deeply, that it was this moment of a human experiencing like ecstasy.
Yep.
And then this woman absorbing all of this emotion and then saying, copy, Moonjoy. I like it, touched me, it tickled me. Okay, before we run out of time, Melissa, the way that we end all of our sessions is by sharing a celebration. It can be big, it can be small, but something that you're really proud of or grateful for. So do you want to kick us off and share a celebration?
I wouldn't say it's like not anything that it's like recent, or it's I started in 2020 to go all in, and it has not been an easy journey at all. It was a journey that came with lots of failures, lots of rock bottom, lots of depressions, lots of like breakdowns, having to go back to a 9 to 5 like more than once, like failing. But wanted to celebrate myself for just continuing to keep going. I already knew I didn't want to be in 9 to 5, but when I got into 9 to 5, I was like, yeah, I already knew this, but now I see it. And also is because I'm so passionate about this work, and you know, this is like my soul calling, and I have the opportunity to do it again. Like I feel like since being laid off in November, it felt like the universe just kind of like opened up the path for me. It was like, go again. And I did. And I felt that pull to go this direction, and I listened to it. And I'm so glad that I did that, and for not giving up, because like now I'm here having a conversation with like you guys talking about witchy stuff on LinkedIn. Like, that's so cool. And so
I love that. It kind of sounds like you got compassionately bullied by the universe.
yeah. It's like the card that keeps showing up, like, you got to do this. This is what your soul signed up for. You still need to do this. So I'm like, okay.
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's so beautiful.
Leslie, what about you?
Okay. Well, mine is Meg, I want you to guess actually what mine is, because it's related to the season that we are currently in.
I think that you're going to go to the festival You're gonna go to the witchy festival in like the middle of whatever.
I wish, although I
Okay.
did just get
I
back
thought you were going to
from
Samhain.
a
But
3-night
maybe I
fish
just
run.
maybe I just bullied you into that next year. Maybe we should go together.
I know, maybe you're manifesting for me. I did just get back from a 3-night fish run at the Sphere in Vegas. And it was like my annual girls trip. So that was really beautiful. That is worth celebrating. But in like the most Taurus fashion ever, y'all, it is Taurus season. It is about to be my birthday month. I said birthday month. You better believe I will be celebrating all month. So that is my celebration that I think a narrative that I often hear is that like the older we get, the less it's worth celebrating our birthdays.
No.
That is something that is so common that people are like, so what? Like what? Like it's just another year. And I reject that so freaking wholeheartedly. Like it is a gift to grow old. It is a gift to celebrate every, circle around the sun. And so that is my celebration, is that I reject the narrative that like aging is gross or shameful, or that like as a whole ass adult, I'm not allowed to joyfully celebrate my year of birth. And instead I invite the opposite energy in.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God, I love it. And also just like, I love the microaggressions towards the patriarchy, but absolutely. Also, I love our other friend Monica. Like one time we were all like creating, we're like, oh, like, what if we did a party? But like, the Taurus party would literally be like, we were like, there would be multiple boards, like a cheese board, a dessert board, like 17 different boards. It would literally be like a pajama party with cozy blankets. Literally so cozy. There's going to be like a cuddle puddle and just like, it's just gonna walk in. We all have like little like onesies on. You're just like eating our little cheese, I have a Taurus rising, and like I'm absolutely all about the cozy vibes as well. I love it.
Megan,
oh my gosh, Taurus season.
What are you celebrating, Megan?
Yeah, bring us home.
So last quarter I had a big celebration. Like, I ended with I maxed out my client base like 3 months early, and I did therapy, and I was like, what does my body want? And it was like to chill. And so I was like, okay. Like because I was like, I should start my other business. So this entire quarter, I'm like bringing it back to ease. And I just made a huge investment in an AI consultant to basically just like take my brain, turn and like to actually create a plugin for my salespeople. And honestly, and also I'm working with that. So basically taking all, like I've been doing a lot with AI, but I'm like, I feel like this would take me like an entire quarter or like, I don't know, a year to like just finish all of it. So I'm just making an investment and he's helping me customize it. And so even that, like realizing I don't have to do it myself and I can literally just like get people to help me. And I mean, as my apartment is being cleaned, because like I allow myself that, which is really nice. And I'm really excited because I'm really just like every day I'm trying to just like truly take a quarter to rest. So yes, investing in my business so that it is, I have more ease there. And just like, I didn't work a lot yesterday and I felt really guilty about it because I was just like, I've been traveling and I'm just like, is this okay? And I'm like, no, your theme is ease. It has to be okay. So really just trying to integrate that more deeply, practice magic, and also get back to creativity because I've just been working so freaking hard. So I feel really excited about it.
I know
it is Taurus season.
Can I say one more thing in regards to that before we close out? So I follow this business astrologist, and one thing that she said that's making me think of how I want to structure my business is she has the way that she structures her business is through seasons. And so like she'll have a hustle season, she'll have a hustle season, a sprint season, a rest season, and then she follows that. And it's been working for her.
That would work so well because you already
do that.
Like your natural rhythm already sort of defaults to that.
Yeah, so you can
True.
have like
Okay.
a hustle season and then a sprint season, or like, you know, a jogging season and then a rest.
Like, I need a Post-it note.
I love this.
I love that so much. Also, I need the names again later of the astrologist, and
Yes.
I need
Yes,
all
yes,
of the TikTok, you know, witches that we follow,
I
you know?
think that makes sense too, because like in life we have like summer, we have spring, we have winter, you know, we have
Yeah.
and all of those seasons like follows those same type of energies, and you can definitely bring that kind of energy into your annual rhythm and flow in business.
Yeah, I feel like Leslie has definitely seen. I mean, I just like all of the Taurus rising. I'm like, I feel like I'm like you know, a little hustle all the time, but like I'm just like, no, it is like hustle season, or very clearly like I'm rest season. I feel like I work really well with that energetic, where like I worked like 12 hours on Monday, and then I literally like almost didn't work yesterday because I was just like, you know, recovery, doing grocery shopping, etc., and just like resting.
Yeah.
I needed
That's
that.
why
Melissa.
we
I'm
own
excited.
our own businesses, so that you have the freedom to
Truly.
structure your days and your lives in the way that serves you best. What a treat.
What a
This was
treat.
great.
This is so amazing.
Always so grateful for everybody that joined us for this very non-traditional LinkedIn discussion, where we curse and talk about magic and you know, talk about things that are arguably more important than how many cold calls you made in a day.
I also feel like this one, I'm so curious to see how many people dropped off after we just went full crystal mode. But
we went hard. Just look at my
it was like the gate, you know. We're like, okay, like now that you know, anyone that's not interested, let's get to like the spiritual.
You know what? The right people will find their way to us always, right? Okay, ladies, we'll copy Moonjoy, and we'll see everybody again soon. All right.
See you later.
Bye.